Evangel Academy Knights await the winner of this next semi-matchup in a rematch from earlier in the season. We are there on call for that one as the two-time defending Evangel Christian School Lightning look to three-peat as they host the first time in the NHSA history that the Tennessee Heat have ever appeared. It's the 2020 NHSA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com. Welcome everybody. Spencer Thompson alongside Zachary Lone again. Let's go ahead and just get you in anyways, get you more FaceTime. Gotta get you accustomed to it. So the storylines, you've heard them a lot, but we'll remind you just because that's what we like to do. The Evangel Christian School Lightning, two-time defending national champions. For the first time in many years, they missed the state championship because of their loss to the Evangel Academy Knights earlier in the season, and with Lighthouse Homeschools win over them 27-26. But they still are two-time defending national champions. They have so many weapons on both sides of the ball. So the question is, how far will this team go in a two-time defending national championship setting? Meanwhile, for the Tennessee Heat, undefeated in Tennessee 8-man football. Only losses on the season coming to Evangel in the regular season in Alabaster, Alabama, as well as a loss in an 11-man football game against the Webb School. And with so many great weapons, including Luchtefeld, Ryan Scott has such an incredible program going. And it's semi-atmosphere as it was earlier, Zachary. And this Tennessee Heat team, their first time coming to the NHSA, we saw with Ezekiel, their first time, they were not phased. Is that the same case for the Tennessee Heat? Well,
Tennessee Heat's playing the number 3 team in the country too, so it's not the number 2 team in the country too. So it's not like, yes, Southern Prep, they're a good football team, but they weren't the number 2 team in the country. So this being their first time and then playing against the number 2 in the country, that I think that kind of offsets it a little, because you're telling yourself, hey, I can beat the number 2 team in the country tonight. We can go out, we can do something that we couldn't do earlier in the year, and that loss actually could motivate them.
And for the Evangel Christian School Lightning, they have a lot to prove in this situation, because being two-time defending champions and not making it to their state championship, there's a lot for the Evangel Lightning to prove. And the field here, where they won in overtime against Ezell Harding last year, there's a lot for them to prove in this semifinal.
Yes, and their emotions are running high. They really want this one. Not being able to go to state tournament, I think it kind of embarrassed them. So they went out and they worked hard for these past 3-4 weeks to get to this point to where they are ready to play against the Tennessee Heat. This is storylines all across the board, and this is going to be a great matchup to watch.
And a rematch of the regular season when we were there in Alabaster. Who's going to have a date with the Evangel Academy Knights? We'll figure out in about 2.5 hours. Tennessee Heat, Evangel Lightning, next.
For the great first game that we had, Lord, we're trying to do both these teams. Let it be sportsmanlike play. Please let there be no injuries, serious injuries. And everything we do give you glory and honor to never pray. Amen.
And we are now set for game time. Evangel won the toss. They elected to defer. The lower seed in the Tennessee Heat will receive. There's nothing plugged in here. Your cable that was over here, he told me to unplug it and give a roll back and stuff. So what you got to do is you got to look at the headset situation, and see where that other cable's coming from, because I'm not getting anything over here other than what it is. That's probably for the end. And away we go in this other semifinal, and it's a return attempt by Spicer. And we'll see this Heat offense for the first time today. Zachary Lone having some technical issues. We'll get those sorted out as soon as possible. As the Tennessee Heat will start out on offense for start of this game. And a 1st and 10 with motion on the play. Got Sutton as Corley pitches it over. Aldrit in the backfield is immediately met by Jet Lodge. And a toss to Carter Sutton. Carter Sutton weaving through this Evangel defense, and Carter Sutton is going to take it all the way to score first. Touchdown, Tennessee Heat.
And there it is. There was that screen pass that's worked so well this year for the Heat. Being able to get the misdirection right there from really they're going to kick it out the other end. That's a good job, a great play call by the Heat, and then that's a great first punch in the first minute, scoring the first points of the game.
Shaves off 56 seconds into the game.
And this is going to be a high-scoring one. This isn't going to be a low-scoring affair. It may come down to whoever has the ball last.
Remember, this Evangel offense had a tall task ahead of them when they collided with the Tennessee Heat earlier in the season. That game in Alabaster, now a little bit more even grounds as both teams traveled at about the same time. As Schroeder knocks it through the uprights. A 7-0 lead already for the Tennessee Heat. This 2020 NHSA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com is presented by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Let's get Jets. Well, a 7-0 start already, exactly what the Tennessee Heat wanted. And in our talks many, many times with Coach Ryan Scott, he's mentioned that our issue is we keep trying to dig ourselves out of a hole instead of going up early, and they're up early.
And we saw that in the first game of the year against CCS that we covered. Remember, CCS went up 14-0 on the Heat before the second half comeback that Heat put together. So it's a good sign for the Heat to go ahead and score early.
So now it's lighter kick, and it's picked up there by Mark Ayers, the freshman, surrounded by several Heat players. And for the first time today, we will see the Evangel Christian School Lightning on the offensive side. Jet Lodge, the starting quarterback for this team, because Eli Whitfield got injured several weeks back, and Jet Lodge has just been an absolute star on both sides of the ball.
Definitely. And usually when you lose your star quarterback, you take a step back. Evangel really hasn't taken a step back since then. They've played really well in all the games that they've had coming up to tonight.
And their first offensive play is a quick pass. Right side, Jet Lodge takes the reception from actually Whitfield, who is back in. So Eli Whitfield was injured in that game against the Tennessee Heat, but recovered enough to play in this semifinal and already doing damage.
Definitely. On that last play, they only had one Tennessee Heat defender on the left side of the field. So they motioned the receiver to the right and then did a little screen pass, which was why it broke big.
As another toss to Jet Lodge, as Lodge left side, wrapped up and tackled by several Tennessee Heat players there, both by Schroeder and Hackle.
So what Tennessee Heat's doing so far is they're playing a soft zone where they're having their players play about 10 yards off of the receivers there. So that's why Evangel has gone 2 quick screen passes to try and bring the Tennessee Heat defenders up. That way that they can get the vertical threats going downfield.
As Jet Lodge will head out for this play. And Hagen Joyner, the offensive coordinator for the Evangel Lightning. On a 2nd and 5. Quick toss. The catch is made by Bradley Davis, who cuts free. Bradley Davis to the end zone. Touchdown.
See, this is what they're doing. They're over the Evangel's offense is overloaded the one side of the ball. No, right here. Look. So they have 2 guys over here. And then at the snap, immediately the outside defender for the Heat runs inside as if this is an inside zone. Quarterback pulls it back, throws it to the outside to Davis, and Davis it just ran untouched into the end zone there. As we're gonna watch it one more time, watch right here. Look, that quarterback blitzes inside, and then Davis just takes the outside.
And missed the extra point there, but it was perfect and good. Tied at 7, 9:46 left to go in the first. This may be a shootout here in Panama City. So what was a quick strike by the Tennessee Heat, Evangel immediately gives them a response. And it'll be an attempted return by Aaron Spicer, who gets up to about the 47-yard line.
Kickoff return by Spicer.
And he took a hit there at the end of the play. But what we're seeing out of the 2 offenses so far is screen passes and short passes overloading one side of the field. And that's really been what's been the key, was led to both of the touchdowns so far for the Heat and Evangel.
Ryan Scott, the offensive coordinator and head coach for the Heat, trying to coordinate this play and get something going as audible here. Play clock almost got down fully to 0 as Trace Aldred to the left side. He's tackled down by Daniel Viles.
But that's a good first down play. You get positive yardage and you get your offense back into a small rhythm. But that's a good job by Evangel to go ahead and stop it for a minimal gain.
Only a gain of 3 yards there for a 2nd and 7 as this Heat offense just trying to push along. And movement there.
That is going to be a false start.
First penalty call of the game.
Flag on the play, called against the Heat for a false start. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
I think it was the center flinch just a little there, which was enough to call the offsides. No, the false start.
They move it back for about a 2nd down and 13. This Heat offense has motion with Sutton. Toss right side, incomplete. Pass intended for Aaron Spicer and incomplete for a 3rd down.
So that play call there was, it took the outside man, outside receiver, took him in, no, inside receiver took him in to block for the rollout there, and then the outside receiver ran the slant just to give Spicer an open space to maybe try and make a play, but he wasn't able to complete the ball. He wasn't able to catch it, so that's why the play didn't work.
And movement there, another flag.
Encroachment, defense, number 56.
Flag on the play, called against the Lightning. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
This time called against Evangel.
So they get the 5 yards back that the Heat he gets the 5 yards back that they gave up on that false start. So really, it worked out to their advantage. That hard snap is going to be something really to watch out for today, as it's worked a lot in the Heat's favor.
Back where they started. 3rd down and 7. Slings it to the left side. What a catch. Brandon Goolsby with the reception as the clock continues to run, and Goolsby moves the chains for a 1st down.
Yeah, right there. That was a great pass there. As you're going to watch, as Lefty goes into motion, steps back, waits, and then as soon as he makes the cut, the ball's there for him. That's a great throw and catch.
Moves him over into Evangel's territory. About the 36-yard line, and probably get encroachment again.
Encroachment, defense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Corley has a deadly silent count right there, as he's already drawn 2 offsides in this drive already. So that's given a Heat free yardage right now.
Here's Sutton again in motion as they'll hand it off to him. He's trying to find an opening, weaving through this Evangel defense and spinning around. He'll move past the line to gain.
And something to watch out for today, what the Heat do is they do a lot of motion, but when they do the motion is to get particular matchups. For instance, on this outside right now, we have Hackle versus Bradley Davis.
The handoff to Aldrett, trying to get up the middle, and only a gain of about a yard or 2 yards.
By Aldrett to the 20-yard line. Gain of 1 on the play. It'll bring up a Heat 2nd down.
Tried to go with the draw right there, but Evangel was ready for it right there. They got quick off the ball, and were able to stuff it up the middle.
Another audible being called here. Coach Scott likes to use trickery a lot with this Heat offense. Corley. Got time. Left side, incomplete.
Pass from Corley
And
for
Goolsby the intended target.
So right there, Goolsby, they run that out again to him, and that's gonna be open every time. The way that Timothy Howard is playing him right now. They are playing about 5-10 yards back, so by the time that Howard turns and gets about his 5 yards, he immediately takes a cut back to the outside. So, and the throw is already coming on Goolsby by the time Goolsby turns. So really, Howard doesn't really have a shot on those type of plays.
Third down. Toss, catch made. Spicer weaving through. Spicer, there is a flag down.
This will come back. This was a block in the back on that was a block in the back on Brandon Goolsby there. Behind the play, really wasn't in the play, but really wasn't a necessary block. Spicer had the open field.
Yep, you're right. Block the Mac.
10 yards
Lost the
is
yardage on the play.
Replay third down.
And you're right, it was Goolsby.
That was a great play call there for the screen pass. It got Spicer into open space, but Goolsby just two-hand stopped behind the Evangel player. Instead of coming from the side, he stopped behind and put both hands on the back and shoved him as Spicer cut back to the right.
Moves it back for a third down and 8. As Corley is under pressure, is going to get the quick toss out, but just a tad high, intended for Aldrich.
And if Corley had one more second there, he had Aldrich wide open for a touchdown. But that was a great job by Evangel to go ahead and get in Corley's face and make him feel hurried and make him feel the pressure there. As now it comes up fourth down. Now I know they have a kicker. Will they kick it from here? They will not.
Not on this one. I think the Heat likely know that they need to score. They need to score fast. And movement there is Corley. Faces a 4th and 9. Looking for the option and overthrew his target to Luchtefeld.
So he had Luchtefeld goes into motion there. So they were looking for Luchtefeld all the way. As Luchtefeld got to the other side and then ran a little slant there. So he was open, but by the time he turned his head as he got past that final defender for Evangel, the throw was already on him, and Luchtefeld didn't have time to react and get his hands up. So that's a big stop by Evangel right then, because, as we said, this is going to be a high-scoring game, and it's going to be who can ever get the ball last or whoever makes the last stop. And the way Evangel looked last drive, the way that they ran that RPO to perfection, it's looking like that could almost come back and haunt the Heat, and we're only in the first quarter.
Evangel is incredibly quick on offense, especially with Jet Lodge. As Lodge has it, gets past the man. How about another? Finally tripped up to get to the 32-yard line, and another first down.
What both of these offenses do so well, as you're going to see right here, maybe right here. So it's a one-on-one on the outside here, and you get it to Lodge in open field, and more times than not, he's going to be able to make the first man miss, and that's what you're betting on.
Motion again is Whitfield. Quick toss. Lodge again. Seems to be their main formula, but it's working so well as Lodge has got a blocker to the outside. No flags on the field, and Lodge is going to get in for an Evangel Lightning touchdown.
And there it is. They did the same exact play except to the opposite side. Get Lodge into space, and good things will happen. Like right here. Look, it's a one-on-one right there. And Lodge beats the first man, and then his speed to get to the outside is what really got him that separation. And once Lodge gets going, they're not going to be able to stop him. So there it is. Now Evangel's up 6, maybe 7 points already. And remember, he got the ball first.
And the kick by Mast. It's perfect. 14-7. 5:35 left to go in the first as the Evangel Lightning take the lead. This is the second lead change we've had in the game. 5:35 left to go in the first as the Lightning kick it off after scoring a touchdown, and this one is not gonna. This is gonna be rolled a touchback,
Kickoff recovered in the end
and
zone
with
for
the
a
touchback there,
touchdown
it goes up to the 25-yard line.
by
And Hackle almost tried to bring that one out right there, and that would have been it could have been costly because Evangel had great kick coverage right there, and it was going to be Hackle against 4 of Evangel's defenders.
So I'm thinking the NFL rule, they actually spotted at the 20-yard line as the Heat try to respond to that Evangel touchdown. On a 1st and 10. Corley putting Sutton in motion. Going to give it to Carter Sutton. Dangerous when he has the ball. Still mobile and down to the 31-yard line.
And that's a great job there of using that motion man. They haven't really used him so far yet tonight. So putting Sutton into motion and then Corley handing off to Sutton really caught Evangel off guard right there. That's why that play was so effective right the middle.
Gives them a new set of downs on about the 31-yard line. As this may be one of the more high-scoring games we see going into this championship game. As Corley nowhere to go.
And that was that option play, and that's another good job by Evangel right there of recognizing what is going on in the offensive backfield of the Heat and going ahead and getting to Corley before he has the opportunity to get the ball out wide there.
Now a loss of 2 on that last one for a 2nd and 12. Corley looking, tries to get it to Sutton, tipped off of the hands of Howard.
That was a great job there by Timothy Howard of jumping up, reading what was going on, and tipping that ball. But that's a good job by Corley right there, sitting in, taking the hit. He just wasn't able to find the open receiver. And this Evangel pass rush so far has really gotten to Corley. And hasn't really given Corley time to throw or routes to really develop downfield. But look for something out of coming out of motion this play.
And then there's motion again. Sutton is faked. Corley, right side to Spicer. As Spicer gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, and that'll force it to a 4th down, and likely the punt team coming on for the Heat.
So right there, what the Heat were trying to do is they tried to fake that inside handoff again to Sutton, but instead of handing off, Corley rolled to his right, and try to get Spicer out in space. But Evangel sniffed that out to perfection, as they were right on top of Spicer as soon as he caught the ball.
Punt team, Spicer sends it away, and back to receive is Lodge. Jet Lodge is going to take it and immediately stopped where he caught the ball back at the 37-yard line. So now the Evangel Lightning will go back on offense.
So right there, that was great punt coverage by the Heat, because if Lodge started getting that open field, we've already seen how dangerous he is in the field. So that was a good job of left of field tackling low, and then the reinforcements coming in and making sure he goes down. But if you're Evangel here, you have a chance to go up by 14 points and go ahead and put the pressure on the Heat. This is a big drive if you're Evangel. You want to go up big on the you want to go up big here.
1st and 10. Quick toss. It's to Tyler Wilson. Tyler Wilson tripped up at about the 45-yard line. They'll spot him at the 46.
And that was just another play coming out of the backfield, getting an Evangel player just one-on-one. So far this game, what we've seen is Evangel players making man's miss in the open field, but Evangel doing a great job of open field tackling on the Heat. And that's really what the difference is so far.
New set of downs on the 46-yard line. Lightning offense just continuing to march down the field. And a keep by Whitfield. Whitfield avoids a tackle, stays on his feet to about the 38-yard line, and Whitfield with an amazingly executed play.
And on that play again, as you're going to see, watch right there. Fake it to the outside, got the whole Heat defense leaning to the left side, and then Lodge gets someone, makes a man miss again in the open field.
As Lodge will keep the ball, spins out of tackles, trying to spin out that last one, but Aiden Luchtefeld not letting him go anywhere.
And Lodge has a great ability, as we've seen so far this game. And we saw it against in our last game that we covered with the against these two teams. Is Lodge is a game difference maker in this game. His ability to break tackles, be able to extend plays, really is key.
Lodge scrambling. Deep toss toward the end zone, and a lot of pushing and shoving.
That is going to be pass interference on Evangel. This is going to be 15 yards from the previous spot, because that's going to be pass interference on Bradley Davis of Evangel, because there was a holding call because Luchtefeld was held as he was going down.
Officials will talk it over.
That penalty is declined. We have interception.
So it wasn't pass interference; it was holding. So basically, what happened there was the ball was underthrown as it was intended for Davis. As you're gonna say, I don't know if we can see it. As Lodge threw it deep, and we don't see it there, but Lodge grabbed Luchtefeld's jersey around his shoulder pad, horse collar, and tugged it, trying to force the incompletion.
But that's a big interception for the Tennessee Heat to stop Evangel as Trace Aldrich gets to the right side. He's got one man to beat, not able to get past him. That was a tackle made by Bradley Davis.
Yeah, that was good. That was a great job of Davis getting outside and taking Aldrich down low. Again, that's another great job of Evangel getting to the outside and making open field tackles.
Gain of about 3 on there for a 2nd and 7.
Heat, second down.
About a minute left to go in the first quarter. A decent scoring game thus far as Corley airs it out towards the middle. Carter Sutton just through his hands. Had 2 men covering him.
And Sutton had him deep as Corley expected Sutton to keep running. Instead, Sutton turned and tried to high point the ball on the 2 defenders, and it just went between his hands. And here it is. If you're Heat, you almost have to convert this because your defense gave you a great a turnover. That we were talking about how they almost went up 2 scores on you, and then Luchtefeld came up with a key turnover, and now you're in 3rd and long.
And timeout for the Heat.
Timeout.
Tennessee Heat call a timeout. 55 seconds left to go in the first. .55 seconds left to go in the first quarter. As Corley tosses it. Catch made by Carter Sutton, avoiding several tackles. Carter Sutton attempts the stiff arm, gets down to the 45-yard line. And in the words of our producer, Jack Helwig, that is a grown man play right there.
And that was just a slant right there by Sutton. But Sutton catches the ball and then spin moves with that first tackle and then makes a few men miss in space. That is the big play that the Heat have been looking for. And Sutton so far had their two biggest plays.
And 30 seconds winding down in this first quarter, but the Heat getting a big offensive play now on the 45-yard line. Spicer up the middle. He's got some space, kind of bumped into the official there a little bit, but gets across to the 50-yard line for a gain of about 5 yards, and likely that is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. We at least got scoring in the first half, and only a touchdown separates these two teams. 14-7, Evangel leads after 12. "12 minutes off of the clock here in the 2020 NHSA semifinal between the Evangel Christian School Lightning and the Tennessee Heat, as Aldred is going to take the direct snap, get a decent gain and a first down there. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig bringing you the action here on the broadcast crew, and of course James Shannon being our producer and the PA announcer here in stadium at Pete Edwards Field in Panama City Beach, Florida. We saw the semifinal earlier between Ezekiel Academy and in a shutout, and Ezekiel Academy. Well,
was it a shutout? The first game? No, I thought Southern scored a touchdown.
Yes, the first game. This first game was a shutout.
shutout as carry there by Goolsby, gets tripped up maybe about at the line of scrimmage for a second down, but it was a shutout earlier. Ezekiel Academy got the job done against the Southern Prep Fighting Rangers, and they await the winner of this contest here for Monday afternoon for the national championship.
At the bottom of the screen, you have Goolsby one-on-one with about 5 yards of space. So maybe you look for something at from the bottom of your screen here.
And flags fly.
False start. Number 19 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Get a false start called against the Heat.
Move it back 5 yards.
It'll remain a Heat second down.
And now they're back into a second and long situation. You don't want to be living in these situations if you're the Heat.
2nd and 17. An uphill battle to climb as Sutton gets that, and Corley has got a little bit of time, airs it out, and Goolsby almost had it.
So Goolsby right there, he did a double move. So if we can get this at the bottom of the screen, Goolsby runs to about the 35-yard line, stops right here. Like, so he stops, and Lodge tries to undercut the route because they've been going outside to Goolsby the whole time. So when Lodge breaks out, Goolsby goes deep, and the throw is just off Goolsby's fingertips.
Would have been a touchdown catch if he had pulled it in. It's now a 3rd down and 17. Sutton in motion again. As Corley airs it out right side and incomplete. It's intended there for Joshua Hackle, but just overthrew him.
As I was just thrown right over Hackle's head. But now you're in a 4th and long situation as here comes the punt team. Really, what the Heat did well is they moved the ball enough to where they flipped field position. But when you're playing an offense like Evangel Christian has, you want to capitalize every time you get a turnover.
The punt team Spicer punting it away, and Bradley Davis back to receive. To pick it up and return it for starting at the 15 as it gets to about the 27-yard line.
As Lechterfield made another open field tackle. Lechterfield right now has really had a great game.
First down.
But if you're the Heat, you need to start making these open field tackles and limiting Evangel to 2-3 yards, because the first contact on each of these Evangel plays so far has been at the 2-3 yard mark, or they've been mostly screens. So if you can get them tackled for a loss, that's a huge advantage to the Heat. But what they're doing so well is they're getting the ball out to Lodge and other players, where Lodge for Evangel has done a great job of avoiding those tackles.
And speak of the man himself, Lodge avoids a tackle there, cuts another one, tries to get past Luchtefeld, but nothing doing as Lodge is
Down to the 26-yard line.
slow to get up. That's a big loss if Evangel. Let's hopefully he's just shaken up.
As right there, Luchtefeld.
And time called on the field.
We have a timeout on the field for replay.
And they're going to send the tablet down. They're going to look at something. The
Officials timeout.
The officials in tonight's game are utilizing Kingdom.com's technology to observe the game in a different perspective. Kingdom.com's assistance allows for officials during our broadcasts to perfect their craft and get the right call. Visit Kingdom.com for all of your technological needs today. And as they're going to talk about it with the guys, the question, of course, would be what they're looking at. And we got producer Jack Helwig on the headset while Zachary is running this down to him. Jack, what do you think they're looking at in this?
My best assumption would probably be the fumble there at the end, but it seemed to me like it wasn't a fumble. And even if it was, then it seemed like it was recovered by the runner because it was immediately fallen on. So I'm not sure exactly what they're reviewing here, as we're going to get a shot of Zachary down there for the first ever review using our tablet to see.
Well, not the first. The first one that you've been in, we had a few reviews back in that CCS and Freedom game.
Yes.
So
yes.
and that CCS Heat game, we had a few, as well as Heat Sacred Heart. So not too long for them to make the determination.
I guess it's a good thing that they can look back. So maybe we might get a call and see what they're looking at. My assumption would probably be a fumble. To see who it was recovered by.
After further review, the ruling on the field confirmed. The runner's elbow was down. Timeout. Evangel is charged.
So Evangel charged with a timeout. And The review there, they ruled his elbow was down. It's confirmed. So they just wanted to make sure his elbow was down and everything prepared there. So this is a good, you think good call there, Jack?
Yes, it was a good call there. It was an interesting challenge there by Evangel, or just to see if it, because it seemed like it was clearly recovered by themselves. So, you know, interesting to see how this timeout may play out for him, but it's a good call by the officials.
Yeah, and Coach Johnson just getting the clarification with the white cap there, and they got everything clarified.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, instead of going all the way down around, just let him come, have him come right there and then just hand it to him. And just do it that way and it speeds up a bit.
And toss left side, catch is made. Here goes Bradley Davis to the outside. Can Luchtefeld get him? No! Bradley Davis, the senior. Touchdown, Evangel. No flags.
As that's another great job of Evangel getting Bradley Davis, playmakers like Bradley Davis, open and outside. That's the screen pass that they've been using lodged with the whole game. And then that time, Davis gets to the outside, as there was a good block on the outside there, and nobody was to catch him.
And, of course, they do switch sides of the field because they are going to get the kickoff here, but we'll just show it one more time.
Again, so Spicer right there tried to break him down, but leaned too far to the inside. So when Davis saw that, he goes to the outside of his receiver there that was blocking, and that's what really created that separation.
So as you mentioned earlier, the Lightning had a chance to go up by 2 scores and put the pressure on the Heat. And with this extra point, the pressure is on the Tennessee Heat. 21-7. This 2020 NHSA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig. We're bringing you every bit of the action here from Pete Edwards Field in Panama City Beach, Florida. So far, it's been a decent day of football. Got to see Ezekiel Academy get the win and advance to their first national championship in program history. And chance for the Heat to do the same here tonight if they can get the job done, or Evangel to be in the national championship for the 3rd year in a row. And from looking at history, no team has done that. Christian Community was in the national championship in 2017 and 2018, and then Evangel tied up that record with 18 and 19 as we have a return here. Slight return as it's a stop at the 10-yard line for Hackle.
As the ball got under Hackle there, and he had to retreat there and pick it up, and he picked it up inside his own 10-yard line, so he really had no room to spare right there. And that was a good job of Evangel's kick coverage, getting down and making it hard on him. As now they must score on this drive to try and keep up with Evangel.
So now a 1st and 10 here for the Heat. Handoff to Carter Sutton up the middle. Pushes those defensive linemen as he gets to the 25-yard line, just a few yards short of the first down.
And the past this drive and so far on that first play of this drive, they're starting to go away from that misdirection right now because Evangel was starting to expect it, and it wasn't catching Evangel off guard anymore. So Evangel was expecting the misdirection. So they're going back to halfback draws, or just maybe just a simple screen pass or two, instead of just doing all the misdirections. That way, when they do a misdirection, it catches Evangel off guard.
On it's about a 2nd down and 5, a quick toss to Brandon Goolsby as Goolsby tries to get forward and maybe just back to the line of scrimmage there.
As now here comes an important 3rd down. as they tried that
Approaching 17-yard line. It'll
tried
be a heat,
another
third
wide
down.
receiver screen there, and there's just nothing going right now downfield for the Heat.
Now about 8 minutes left in the first half, as the Tennessee Heat face about a 3rd and 5. With motion, Spicer to the outside as Corley is going to toss across the middle. Whitaker with the catch. Ty Whitaker, the senior, the big tight end.
42-yard line.
And that's the misdirection we're talking about. Watch.
It'll bring up a heat. First
Watch right here.
down.
Corley, as everything is going to the right. Corley turns, looks right, like that's a wide receiver screen, and then tight end right there just slips out for the Heat, and he comes uncovered. I think that was Whitaker, and Whitaker makes a great catch to keep this drive going.
Aldred outside. Gain of about 7 yards.
Aldrich to the 48-yard line.
And that was a good job because the snap was a little high to
49-yard line.
to Corley there, but it was a good job by Aldred and Corley not panicking and then just handing the ball, getting a quick, clean handoff, and then Aldred getting the positive yards to make it a 2nd and short.
Second and 4. Here goes Spicer. Spicer trying to get through, but gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
That was a great job there by Lodge and Daniel Viles right there, making the play on Spicer in the open field. That way, where Spicer wasn't able to get anything going. And here comes another crucial 3rd down for the Heat.
About 6 minutes left to go in the second period.
At this
second
point in the
quarter.
game, every 3rd down is a must convert for the Heat.
As the clock winds down by 2 touchdowns and 2 PATs. With motion here, Goolsby is going to take the direct snap. Tries to get through, but he's brought down by Zach Chandler. Short of the line to gain.
What that does there for Goolsby carrying that makes it a 4th and 1. That way, it's a manageable 4th down, and you can keep your offense on the field here because their past few drives have been 4th and 12, 4th and 17. Now it's a 4th and 1 where they can, where it's a manageable 4th down.
It's now on a 4th down and 2. They are lined up to go for it here. They got Ty Whitaker under center. Whitaker can he push the pile? I think he may have gotten it.
Where they're spotting it, that's a 1st down. Where they are spotting it, that's a 1st down.
We got the replay on it, but
It will be spotted at the 48-yard line.
wait for the official signal. They're going to bring the chains out.
There will be a measurement.
It looks like it. And if you look at the replay here, it's close.
If where they're spotting it, if that spot, looking from where we are up here, it looks like he did get it by the nose of the football by about 2-3 inches.
So the question it comes down to here,
We have an index cards handy.
what are the chains crew here? Can we zoom in on that?
He didn't get it.
He's short. He's short of the line to gain. And I think Coach Scott wants to challenge this. I think he's asking for a replay.
Oh, I don't
Well, he was given a signal on it, but
want to go down there again. Do I have to go down there again?
Does he want it?
I think so.
they're talking with Coach. They're going to talk over with Coach Scott. Because I know that Coach Smith wanted to review that fumble situation, so they'll probably allow Scott to look at it. But at least from our perspective, it's close. You can't necessarily tell.
It's close, but the angle we got, if they do want the replay, I don't think we have anything. If we can get a replay on that.
Show it one more time. And we'll see what that comes from that conversation.
Yeah, you can't tell there. The only thing is, it looks like. Can you play that one more time? Where is the downs marker at?
That's what comes into play here. Yeah, they pushed it a little bit there, but because you can't tell where the ball is, that's tough.
Hold up. Let's see if he asked for it.
They charged a timeout to the Heat, so they just called a timeout, and I guess
Yeah, so we
it's
didn't.
still a turnover on down,
Yeah,
so
it's-
no tablet.
Ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line.
It,
First down, Lightning.
It's just one of those things where you can review it on a turnover, but it's too close to call from
Yeah.
our angle.
definitely. They moved the ball forward.
So now with 5:07 left to go in the first half, the Lightning take over on downs with an air out to the left side, and Jet Lodge,
That's
he couldn't
incomplete.
pull it in. He almost pulled off a miracle catch there.
That's a great job there by Hackle,
Bring up a Lightning
high pointing the
second
ball
down.
with Lodge and forcing that incomplete pass.
And you could see it here. Great work by Jack Helwig on that.
Hackle gets behind Lodge there as Lodge goes up and high points the ball first, but coming down, Hackle does a great job of pushing the ball, of dislodging the ball from Hackle's hand, from Lodge's hand.
So now it's 2nd and 10 with motion as Whitaker gets a quick toss incomplete. Pass intended for Howard.
Pass from Whitfield, intended for Howard, is incomplete.
As
They'll
they
bring
had
up the
Howard
Lightning
there
third down.
because Lichtenfeld right on the bottom of the screen is playing off the 10 yards. But so here comes a huge third down if you're the Heat now. Or Evangel, because Evangel they can go up by 21 points and get the ball to start the second half, almost putting the nail in the coffin. But if the Heat can if the Heat can force them to punt or a turnover here, it could be a huge momentum shift.
Whitfield quick toss to Lodge. He's dangerous when on the outside. Jet Lodge is going to get the first down. How about a little bit more? Jet Lodge, end zone. We've met before. Touchdown.
And there it is. But wait, there is a flag at the 50-yard line. It's going to come back. It is going to be a hold on Davis on the outside there. So it's going to be
Hold called against
Yep.
the Lightning.
They bring it back.
if we could see that replay one more time.
Yep.
Davis will be at the top of your screen right here. Let's see. I don't know. He might have grabbed the back of his jersey.
You can get one more look at it while they place it here.
That will be a 10-yard penalty.
Close to call there.
And it'll still be a Lightning
As we
third
don't really
down.
have the angle there. But here but now you go from being up 21 points to a 3rd and 20, where a stop and a score by the Heat brings it within a one-score game again.
So now what was a touchdown for Jet Lodge is now a 3rd and 20. As Whitfield scrambles, looked like he was going to be brought down, but he stays on his feet. Finally brought down, and it'll be 4th down as Joshua Hackle gets the tackle.
Hackle came in from the secondary there to
It'll bring up a
as we're gonna
fourth
see right here.
down, Lightning.
So there's a great job there of stepping up in the pocket by Whitfield, but Hackle comes from the secondary and makes that tackle, forcing the 4th and 19. Because he got him, Whitfield got it to where it was one-on-one again on the outside, and this time Hackle was able to take down the Evangel player.
So looks like Lodge was going to take it there, but just decided to punt it, and the ball will go down to about the 34-yard line with 3:42.
That'll bring up a heat. First down.
Those are the Australian-style punts where you run to your right, and I think he thought he had something if he pulled it down and ran with it, but I think they just wanted him to go ahead and punt that away when it's that far away. But it did look like he had a chance to make something big out of that.
So now the Heat have plenty of time to get a score here, and again, they're only down by 2 touchdowns, so nothing too far out of reach. And Aldrich in motion as Corley has got some time, tried to get it to Goolsby and incomplete.
Pass from Corley intended for Goolsby.
As Goolsby comes up hobbling right there,
Bring up
as they tried another screen pass to the outside of Goolsby right here, as a little more of that misdirection play, and maybe,
Yeah, we got an injured Tennessee Heat player on the field. So while Goolsby is injured, while they tend to him, we'll step aside for an injury timeout. So Goolsby just walked over to the sideline. Looked like on the replay he just got cleated, so hopefully he will be back in the game as Corley slings it and swatted down last second. The pass intended for Hackle, just swatted down by Bradley Davis.
that was a good job of Davis there of undercutting that route. And the risk of that is if Davis doesn't get his hand to that, Hackle had forever to go. So he took the risk, and it was well worth it as it brings up another 3rd and long situation for the Heat.
And flag down.
88, 5 yards on the defense.
So it's going to be neutral zone infraction.
Encroachment. Defense, number 88.
Neutral zone infraction.
Third down.
Called against the Lightning. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
So I think they got Riley Mason for being in the neutral zone, lined up in the neutral zone as before the snap.
And slung to the outside, just through the hands of Hackle.
pass from Corley intended for Hackle is incomplete.
They've had so many of those today where it just goes right off the fingertips of the intended receiver. As here comes fourth, and they're going to have to punt the ball away again.
Punt it again, or they could go for it here on fourth down. Not likely because of being in so close to their end zone, but and Spicer is going to punt it away. As Spicer boots it, and this one will bounce all the way to inside the 15-yard line.
Punt by Spicer is down at the 13-yard
So now here comes Evangel with a chance again, well, their second chance of the first half to go ahead and maybe go ahead and put this game away. 21 points in a high-school game is a huge deficit.
14 right now is manageable for the Tennessee Heat, but a defensive stop. Now, a momentum shift here would be a defensive stop.
We were talking about how this is going to be a high-scoring game, and now it's 21-7 almost at the half.
What will the Evangel Lightning do? That's the question. First and 10. And flags fly, likely a false start.
Everybody is set for the
We got a
center.
false start penalty called.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Glad we got the back into everyone but the center. That's a funny one.
That's from the NFL. I forgot which referee did it, but
Several.
several have done it.
A lot.
So basically, the snap count, the center forgot the snap count right there.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
False start on everyone.
That's what they said.
And a handoff up the middle, tripped up by that defensive line of the Tennessee Heat. And that carry was attempted by Daniel Viles.
That was really one of the first times tonight that we saw Evangel try something up the middle. Most of their play so far has been to the outside, trying to make man's miss. As Lodge comes back on the field, what they have been doing with Lodge is just doing a wide receiver screen almost every play that he's in and trying to get him into the open field.
Go ahead, Zachary.
For instance, on that called back touchdown, the play before, they also did that wide receiver screen.
And toss to the right side. Hole being found by Jet Lodge, just avoiding so many tackles from the Tennessee Heat. Finally brought down close to the first down marker.
Pass complete from Winfield to Lodge.
And Lodge in open space is really dangerous. The way he's able to make players miss, as we've seen many times. He broke 4 or 5 tackles there, and it brought it to where it's 3rd and 1 and less than 1.
And quick toss, left side, and cutting to the inside is Bradley Davis to the outside. Davis, the senior, being chased down by Hackle. Not gonna help. Touchdown, Evangel.
So this time they did Davis to the other side. A lot of their plays have just been simple wide receiver screens, getting their man in open space and forcing the Heat to make a tackle. And the Heat haven't been able to make those tackles tonight, and it has resulted in huge plays. For instance, there Davis, that simple, right there, cuts back to the middle as he cut back to actually the around 4 or 5 Tennessee Heat players, but none of them were able to bring him down.
Now remember, normally in high school sports, it's difficult to come back from a deficit of this. But it was just like the Heat Evangel game earlier in the year when Coach Smith told us, even when they went up by 3 touchdowns, he told you guys, hey, they're not done.
Yes, and the Heat has been historical this year, a second-half team.
And the kick is up through the uprights, 28-7. What you were saying, Zachary?
But you don't become back-to-back national champions by taking your opponents lightly. I guarantee you down there, they're not taking Heat lightly because they know what the Heat are capable of. So they're going to keep playing throughout the whole game. there won't be any let up in this Evangel Christian team. But the Heat are going to have to find something here within the last minute and 43 seconds in the half. They're in dangerous territory right now of it getting out of hand.
If there's anybody who can motivate his guys to make a incredible comeback, it's Coach Scott.
Yes.
Coming up on the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report, myself and Zachary will give you our thoughts and analysis of the first half, and we will goes to Monday afternoon to collide with the Ezekiel Academy Knights, and the loser will collide with the Southern Prep Fighting Rangers.
Timeout.
That was a timeout.
Yep. Timeout, I believe, called there by Evangel, and they're just going to think it over as the Heat stay on the field.
Another thing that Evangel has been so good at today is pinning the Heat deep in their territory. For instance, their starting field position is around the 25-20 yard line, so they aren't able to get in positions where 2 to 3 plays they are in position to score. So right now, if you're Hackle, you either let this one go through the end zone, or you have to at least get back to the 35-40 yard line.
And the Lightning will kick off here. And Hackle is going to return it. Hackle tries to get past, gets brought down by several Evangel players, and
Kickoff return by Hackle to the 20-yard line.
Brings it down to 136.
And Evangel Day has been so good at
First down.
covering kicks and covering the punts, to where when Hackle is able to when Hackle picks the ball up, and he looks up, there's nowhere to go.
How will the Heat respond? The Heat will kick off for the second half, so getting a touchdown here is pretty important. Orley, toss. Here's Carter Sutton trying to get across the middle, spinning around, and gets to about the 31-yard line.
So that's the first down. So now what the Heat are going to have to do, they're getting to the line quick, and that's an advantage of Corley being a senior.
Time winding down, about 1:15. They're taking a long time to snap this ball as Corley, look at, he's going to air it out, intended for Hackle. What a catch! Joshua Hackle with the reception all the way to the 40-yard line.
As that was a busted coverage there, as Dylan Weathers was the only one over there for Evangel. I can see right here, 2 players by on the underneath route as that ball was spiked, as Hackle and Aldrich were 2-on-1 on the outside.
And on the second down and 10 on the 40-yard line, you'll see it one more time, that catch by Hackle.
That throw may have actually been to Aldrich, but that was a good job of adjusting by Hackle.
As the Heat try to get a score here. Corley across the middle, almost intercepted. Lucky that it wasn't pulled in.
Right there, Sutton did a good job of breaking it up, but that was a good job. That was a good zone call there by Evangel. It caught Corley off guard.
Bradley Davis could have had the interception there. Leads to a 3rd down and 10.
No, you're good. When you're done, I'm going to plug the battery back in, if you don't care. Because that cord charges it and charges phones. No, I just need your brick.
With motion on a 3rd and 10. Corley is trying to find something. He's going to air it out again to the right side and intended for Sutton incomplete.
Pass from Corley,
As now,
intended for Sutton, is incomplete.
the offense for the Heat is staying down there.
It'll bring up
They're staying on the field
fourth
here.
down.
This Heat offense
Lightning
not
fans,
going to
it's
punt it
fourth down. Heat
because
fans, it's
they
fourth
do
down.
realize being down 28-7 at the half is not ideal.
This sounds like a Baptist
Exactly.
church service. Let's make some noise.
4th and 10 on the 40. Corley scrambles. He's looking across the middle. Intercepted.
Pass from
Picked
Timothy
off
Howard.
by Timothy Howard.
Intercepted by Howard.
And that was a good job
Ball
there.
spotted at the
But
30-yard line.
if you look to
It'll
the
bring up a
outside,
Lightning first
to the
down.
bottom of your screen here, Corley had Lechtenfeld. Lechtenfeld ran a go route, and Hackle ran the slant, and that was a good job by Timothy Howard
Oh,
reading
just
that
around, surrounded by
the whole
Baptists.
time.
Fine. Presbyterian church service.
James is having too much fun as PA announcer in here. Having way too much fun. 40 seconds left in the first half. With motion here, Jet Lodge is going to keep it. Can Jet Lodge get past Luchtefeld? Luchtefeld trips him up.
Ball carried by Lodge.
Aiden
to the
Luchtefeld
34-yard
has
line.
had Jet Lodge's name the entire
Bring up
game.
a Lightning
It
second
seems
down.
like he's one of the only players on the Heat's defense so far that's been able to tackle in the open field. Luchtefeld really has saved about 4 or 5 touchdowns already for from Evangel for the Heat. So something else to remember as it scores 28-7. There have been 4 or 5 throws today where Corley overthrew the open receiver and it hit off the fingertips of the receiver wide open in the middle of the field where no one's around him, busted coverages.
So 31.2 left on the game clock for the first half. As the Lightning look to get another score. Second and 6. Woodfield and flags fly.
False start.
Flag on the play. False start. Called against the Lightning.
5-yard penalty.
5-yard
Second down.
penalty. It will
So
remain
it
second
looks like
down.
Caleb Lumpkin was the one called for the false start there. But if you're Evangel, you're feeling really good about yourself. And if you can score again before half and go up 4 scores, this game is all but over.
Evangel looking for a chance to defend their national title against Ezekiel Academy. As toss the other side. It's a pitch! Wow! Davis to Jet Lodge! And unless he could get past Luchtefeld, Lodge
And then
short of the goal line, but the pitch there is what got him all the way down to the goal line.
Down to
that
the
play looked like it was
1-yard
from
line.
facing the Giants right here. What a play call. Davis, and then he turns and pitches the ball off to Lodge. And then Luchtefeld took a tremendous angle that was able to get Lodge down.
And looks like they'll credit him out of bounds, so that stops the game clock. So on about the 3-yard line, Evangels has made it so that they could score.
Yeah, now they're inside the 5-yard line. Now, all they're going to do is they're going to have Logie in open space, and they're going to try and take him down.
Lodge cuts inside. Can't be stopped. Touchdown.
He just lowered his shoulder there, and now you're looking at a 34-7 game. 4 scores going into the second half, and Evangel gets the ball to start the second half. Right there, lowers his shoulder and runs over the defender. Evangel is putting on a clinic right now.
Chance to go up 35-7.
Evangel went down 7-0, and now they're an extra point away of going up 35-7.
35-0 run.
35 unanswered right now from Evangel. They are showing why they're the defending back-to-back national champions.
And through the uprights. After the Heat scored first, Evangel said, oh, well, we can score 5 straight. And wide shot of the field, 12.9 left to go before halftime.
And it's going to be interesting to see if the Heat try any trick plays or anything like that, if to try and get themselves a score right before half, because they only have 12 seconds, and really they need to score before half. Or just get something in the positive, just get some momentum going in the second half. There's confidence on this team, as we've seen multiple times, in their ability to come back and make games and win games, or they come back and they lose close ones. That's why it was so important for them to come out early, and then we thought they did, and then after that, it's been all Evangel.
And kicked off and attempted return by Hackle. Josh Hackle is staying on his feet. Josh Hackle to the 45-yard line. There is a flag down. 4.6.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 flags.
I wonder if that's for the same penalty. Might be a face mask.
I don't think it was high.
Personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 10. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And now the Tennessee Heat are in a great position.
You're right.
I got the officiating guy in the booth with me who's giving me his recommendation. So I kind of cheated, but no, it ended up being beneficial, because now you just take a shot towards the end zone here on the 38-yard line.
Yeah, but you only have one shot at the end zone. That's the thing.
Barring a defensive penalty.
That's true. But on Hail Marys and stuff like that, they rarely throw.
Corley is going to air it out to the right, and it's intercepted. To end the half, it's an interception by Bradley Davis. So the QBR not favoring Corley. 35-7, the Heat, after going up by a touchdown, the Evangel Lightning have scored 35 unanswered points. Kentucky Kingdom Hurricane Bay halftime report is coming up.
Welcome, everybody, to the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report. I'm Spencer Toms. That's Argulon. That's Jack Helwig in the background, our rules analyst and producer and everything. But right now, 35-7, Evangel firing on all cylinders. They're looking like the back-to-back defending national champions, and there's James Shannon as well. You're having too much fun on PA, my friend.
Well, it sounds like a Presbyterian church service down here.
You're still having way too much fun saying that.
No, there's no such thing as too much fun.
Anyways, but
Go Vols!
the Evangel Lightning just looking like the back-to-back national champions in all form here tonight.
Definitely, their defense has really stepped up after that first touchdown. But Lodge and Davis have had incredible games so far. Davis really has taken over the game on both offense and defense, and no one can tackle Lodge except for Felder. He's doing good tackling. He's the only one that can tackle on the Heat defense. But other than that, Lodge has done a great job of getting the open field and making men miss.
Yeah, Luchtenfeld has been incredible in preventing a bunch of touchdowns throughout the game. But as you mentioned, the Heat are a second-half team, so though it looks like it's a 4-score game, I mean, Tennessee Heat what magic do they have to work at the second half?
Well, the thing that goes against them is that Evangelist is the second half kickoff, so maybe potentially an onside kick and then go something from there. But the Heat are a second half team, and we've known that. We know that they are. They play better in the second half, but they haven't played the number 2 country in the team down by 28 at the half. The number 2 country team who's won back-to-back national championships, they know they have to take anyone seriously. They didn't make their state championship. This is a prove-it game for them. This is saying, hey, we want Ezekiel, and we're going to get Ezekiel.
Yep, second highest ranked team in the nation, and they're showing it right now. About 14 and a half minutes until we get through halftime. We'll get coverage for you for the second half. You're watching the 2020 NHSA semifinal for the national championship presented by Kingdom.com.
Welcome to the start of the third quarter. Third quarter here for the 2020 NHSA semifinal round. Ezekiel Academy won earlier in a shutout, and the score right now 35-7. If it holds, then the Evangel Christian School Lightning will be for 3 straight years in the national championship. Spencer Tomzet, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig, James Shannon bringing you every bit of the action here from Pete Edwards Field in Panama City Beach, Florida. As we've seen some pretty good football today. It has been a Mount Everest of sorts for us. We called that the TSIA semifinal. Springfield, Tennessee last night. Got out of there at about 10 o'clock. Went straight down to here, Panama City Beach. Arrived at 6:30 in the morning. James drove through the entire night. Stayed up, and myself, Jack, Zach got minimal sleep. And we do it all over again for the players as the ball is loose and they rule it down by contact. What might have been a loose ball there as well. We'll see what we got.
We went from 40 degrees to sunny and 85 in one day.
Let's see, was he down by?
He was not.
It looked like his backside may have been down.
I think he landed on a player, but it doesn't matter because Evangel recovered anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's the replay one more time as here we go. On a second down, a rush up the middle to carry for another few yards.
If you're Evangel here, you don't go away from what's working just because you're up 28, and you don't go in a don't lose type of mindset where you're running the ball every play. You keep doing what you were doing that gets you up by 28 points. This is 3 straight runs up the middle, and they've gotten a total of 2 yards out of this. They need to keep getting Lodge. They need to keep getting Davis. They need to keep getting them in space.
So now a 3rd down and 9. Quick toss to Lodge on the outside. He's got space to go. Lodge cutting in. He's going to get the 1st down and a little bit more. Lodge tiptoeing the sideline. Staying on his feet and ruled out of bounds.
Pass complete from
Wow.
Whitfield to Lodge.
That's what you need to keep doing. He have no answer for that for this right now. I haven't had any answers for it all game. Just keep putting Lodge in space. Keep putting Davis in space because there's no need to no need to go ahead and try and milk the clock. You can milk the clock in between plays. But if you're getting 30, 40-yard chunks every time you run the same play, you keep going to that play.
Now a handoff, right side rush by Tyler Wilson. Wilson staying on his feet, pushing through to get about a yard or 2 short of the 1st down marker. And they actually give it a 1st down. They move the chains.
And this drive right here is basically trying to take the will from the Heat. But will the Heat be able to respond? This is the question. If they go down, they score a touchdown here. They go down with 35. It's gonna be tough, a tough uphill to climb if he even want a chance to come back in this game.
Under 10 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter as Evangel marches down the field, try to get another score in to finalize, essentially put the nail in the coffin as carry by Wilson on the left side gets brought down at about the 21-yard line by Whitaker.
As they tried this time to get Tyler Wilson into space, and he wasn't able to shake the first tackler to his grasp.
So about a yard lost on that for a 2nd down and 3 as the Evangel Lightning are continually marching down the field here under the leadership of Whitfield. As Whitfield looks right side, Lodge is going to get to the outside, and another 6 points on the board for Evangel.
And there it is. They go up by 34 points. Now they are about to put the running clock on the number 3 team in the country.
As you see by the replay here on the touchdown, Evangel just easily scores another 6.
As they're playing off of Lodge, Lodge just stops, and there was no way that
is good. Your score,
White Hill was going to be able to bring him back down there.
7.
And another 2-point conversion made. 42-7. Evangel leads over the Tennessee Heat here as get a shot at me that as we let you know that the 2020 NHSA semifinal game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. As we head back over to the field with 8:40 left to go in the third, 42-7. As the Tennessee Heat, there's Hackle trying to get the kickoff return here and gets to the 20-yard line.
And then that starts the running clock. So the clock's going to keep running unless the Heat scores this drive. If you're the Heat here and you have a reputation of being a second-half team, this is where you put it to. This is where you show that. You show that grit. You show that no matter what, that the that you believe in yourself. You believe that this team can come back from anything.
We've seen the adversity that Tennessee Heat have fought throughout the season, and of course their only loss in 8-man football coming to Evangel early in the year, and it's tough to beat a team twice. And in Evangel's case, they're making it look easy as Carter Sutton incomplete.
As it looks like Wyatt Hill is in at quarterback right now for the Heat.
Sophomore. Well, if the score holds, we get a rematch of the game that happened in the regular season where Ezekiel Academy took it pretty handily to Evangel as slung left side intended for Aldred incomplete, but it looks like we have a Heat player down on the field, and we're going to step aside for an injury timeout. .7:03 left to go in the third. They're going to look at the injured player on the sideline and continues to move the running clock. Under 7 to go. As scramble tossed by Corley cross the middle, and it's another interception. Bradley Davis, and the nightmare just continues for the Tennessee Heat.
Davis has been all over the field tonight. Davis has been the MVP for Evangel so far tonight. He has played an outstanding game. Davis's impact on the defensive end tonight, like right here, he's behind Hackle. Hackle has him beat, but he understands that Corley is going to go for the crossing pattern, instead of trying to throw it over the top. So he undercuts that route, and it ended up in an interception for Davis.
As another handoff to Tyler Wilson, right side, gets a gain of 4 or 5 yards, and this will move it again further up the field. And for the Tennessee Heat, even with the score being the way it is, they've had a monumental season, the most positive record in their program history, with only one loss in 8-man football, one loss in 11-man football, and for them to, the jump was not easy for them to go out of the then MTAC. We'll talk about it in a second with this carry to the left side, and breaking free a little bit is Tyler Wilson, as he's going to move the chains for a first down inside the 20. But it wasn't an easy move for them to become officially unaffiliated with the conference, pressured by the league because of player eligibility and all that, and they just decided they wanted to go independent and pursue all these things. But for them to, in this fashion, to show up here, make a statement first touchdown against Evangel, it just shows the adversity of the Tennessee Heat, and the only direction to go is up.
Again, they went up 7-0. The Heat did. Evangel scored 42 unanswered. Evangel's just been on fire tonight, all cylinders on the offensive end, defensive end, from Davis to Ledge.
As handoff up the middle again to Wilson.
Just all three parts of the game. Whitfield has had himself a great game. They really have just dominated that ever since that stop on 4th and short, where Evangel stood up Ty Whitaker. It just hasn't been the Heat. Just hasn't been able to get into the game because of that. As a official timeout.
Looked like something with equipment issue with Jared Warren. And it's just going to continue it for now about a 2nd down and 5.
But like you said, they didn't lose a single game to teams inside of Tennessee. They were undefeated in Tennessee teams.
And off. Here's Wilson, right side again. Tyler Wilson, flag in the backfield. And
as I think they're going to get a holding on Evangel Christian's Caleb Lumpkin right there.
So yeah, it looks like you're 5-2. They're going to call it on.
Still Lightning, 2nd down.
Lumpkin had his
Number 52 on offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Thomas Koch on the penalty.
Oh, it was Coach. Well, Coach had his arms on the outside of the Tennessee Heat's shoulder pads right there. That was a pretty easy call for the official there. But like I was saying, they were undefeated in Tennessee. They didn't lose to a single Tennessee team, so they can carry this momentum to next year. They're gonna be a team that's gonna compete for a long time.
Handoff again up the middle. Carter Sutton bringing down Wilson again. They're just giving a lot of touches to Tyler Wilson as a sophomore, get him some more reps as he progresses in his high school career.
And when you're looking at Evangel Christian, Lodge is a senior, Davis is a senior, Viles is a senior, Howard is a senior. All these big playmakers for for Evangel, besides Whitfield, they're all seniors. So they've won. Well, Whitfield has never been a part of Evangel's high school football team when they have lost. When they haven't won the national championship.
Carry out of bounds by Connor Nettles.
And the experience has something to do with this as well. I think it looks like Tennessee Heat, they came out early and they scored and they got the early lead, but then like this nerve settled in. And it really went in Evangel's favor because Evangel, they've been here before. They know how to act. This isn't their first time on the big stage. So
they're trying a long field goal. Lucas Mast.
As this is going to be about a 35-yard field goal.
You can hear James saying, let's go on Zach's headset there as it's a high snap. It's a fake field goal attempt as Lucas Mast is looking to pass it and nothing happening there. So it'll turn over on downs.
But looking towards Monday, if you're the Heat, you're playing
Southern Prep.
you're playing. My bad. You're playing the Southern Prep Rangers, who themselves were on the other end of a blowout today. So it's going to be a matter of which team wants it more, especially playing for a consolation game. But you're in Florida. I mean, how do you not want to? Why would you not want to perform? As there's a national anthem going on.
So the nearby naval base here in Panama City Beach, they're playing their 5 o'clock anthem, and everyone respectfully pausing in stadium for that moment. There's now 39 seconds left in the third quarter. The Heat at least trying to get some reps in for their guys. They'll prepare for the consolation game against Southern Prep on Monday. And toss to the right side. Intended for Sutton, incomplete.
Pass attempt from Corley to Sutton is incomplete.
And then looking to the Monday night matchup, we have Ezekiel. Well, we'll preview that after this quarter.
And that's going to do it for 3 quarters. So 12 minutes away, just wrapping things up here in Panama City Beach. It's likely going to be the Evangel Lightning and the Ezekiel Knights in the national championship. Thank you to all 65 of you continuing to watch this semifinal game. 12 minutes left, and Evangel has a date with Ezekiel in the national championship. And that matchup is going to be incredible to witness on Monday night. We'll have the consolation game and the championship game for you right here on Aim and Extreme. Spencer Tomset, Zachary Lowe, Jack Elwig, and James Shannon we've been bringing to the action all day as Aiden Diaz gets the reception, as they're trying to hurry up here to at least keep some hope up. But the stretch has been very interesting for us. We will get a long, at least for the rest of the guys, a long-deserved rest after today's games. We'll be visiting some family tomorrow, doing our prep work on Sunday, and then Monday get right into the grind again with 2 games at 12 and 3 with a consolation in the national championship. As Aldred gets to the right side, gets a big run there, and gets to about the 45-yard line.
To the 43-yard line.
As you're watching this replay, look at this hole that he hits. Right here. That huge hole in the offensive line made for Aldred. And then he's caught from behind for a 16-yard game. But now they're starting to get some offensive rhythm, and that's good going into next week. No, against next week's matchup against the against Southern Prep.
As Corley scrambles, gets to the left side and didn't make the catch there. That was Hackle, incomplete.
Intended for Hackle is incomplete.
But looking at Ezekiel versus Evangel, the storylines really write themselves. 2 Alabama teams, Evangel going for a three-peat in their 10th one.
Evangel, nobody has done a three-peat in NHSA history. No one even won back-to-back national championships, and Evangel broke that record as flags fly.
Something else to think about is Ezekiel actually beat Evangel earlier in the year. So this is going to be a rematch.
Yep.
Of what happened earlier. So just you have Coach Wilson, you have Coach Smith, you have Ezekiel Academy, who has had a phenomenal year. You have 1 versus number 2. You have the top 2 seeds going against each other for the national championship.
And Corley to Hackle. What a catch!
Pass from Corley.
Joshua Hackle with the reception.
That was a great job there by Hackle. As you're going to see him at the bottom of your screen, but an even better throw by Corley. As he just runs a streak as he beat the initial press by Kyle Jones.
As they're trying to hurry up here and get a score in. Corley finds right side, incomplete. The collision there with Harris Black, but Black assuming he was going to make the catch.
Harris Black made a great break on the ball right there. Read Corley's eyes, and by the time Corley threw it, he was already in position to make a play on the ball right there.
It's now a 2nd and goal. Corley. Left side, incomplete. Pass intended for Dustin Danilakis.
Intended.
As the story of the game has been so far for the Heat, another 3rd and long. They really haven't been able to get in many 3rd and short situations, 3rd and medium.
And they got themselves in another 3rd and medium here with the clock winding down to about 7:45 left. And toss right side, end zone, touchdown.
And that's going to be a 15-yard penalty for the hit afterwards on Nettles.
To Nettles, correction. Pass from Corley to Schroeder is complete for a Heat touchdown.
So the flag in the backfield, likely the touchdown will stand.
Something else to think about is they will now be kicking from the 50-yard line.
Touchdown's good. Play, dead ball, personal foul, and the defense.
Flag on the play against the Lightning.
So they'll enforce it on the kickoff.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't that end the running clock?
Not sure. Depends on what the coaches want as well. As Corley trying to get the 2-point conversion. He's gonna go to the end zone and fall short.
Ball carried
So
by Corley.
42-13, they at least get their second score of the game, but
Your score, Lightning 42.
I
Perfect.
guess it doesn't stop the running clock.
13.
just want to remind you that this 2020 NHSA semifinal presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Let's get Jets. You can see that everybody in stadium is, at this point, they're dancing to the Shark song. Cheerleaders for Evangel going part of the cheers there, and several kids engaged in it. And James Shannon having so much fun. Gonna have even more fun on Monday when we get to cover the consolation and national championships for
As it's going to be,
football.
as I think I don't think they marked off any. They're actually kicking from the 40.
Yep. So I think that's what they were blowing the whistle for. So yeah, they're going the full 15 yards.
So they're kicking from Evangel's 45-yard line.
Yep. Well, this matchup for the national championship is set, and Evangel and Ezekiel are going to collide for the second time this year. Of course, Ezekiel beating Evangel, that essentially knocked the Lightning out of the state championship. So the rematch will happen here in Panama City Beach as Jet Lodge gets to the outside a little bit and goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Returned by Lodge.
Just to
34-yard line.
give you a heads up, everybody, Extreme Radio on Sunday, we are going to recap the TSIA the TSIA semifinal that we covered on Friday. We'll recap the semifinals that we covered today, and additionally, we will interview Coach Tim Smith and Coach Hunter. We'll interview them both and a player of their choosing from each of the teams. We'll do that in front of a live audience here at Panama City Beach, and James will give James and Zachary and maybe even producer Jack Hellwig will give their predictions for the TSIA State Championship, Division II Championship, the TSIA consolation game here at the NHSA, and the National Championship. That'll come up Sunday tomorrow. We're doing it at a special time at 6 p.m. Central Time. You definitely do not want to miss that. We were of course talking at halftime about our about the predictions that the guys are making. Won't reveal anything, but we were already talking about that stuff. They've got their choices made. They've got their decisions made as carry up the right side by Jake Parker, the 8th grader, gets to about the 35-yard line. But it's shaping up to be a fantastic conclusion to the 8-man football season, Zachary. I mean, we've got Monday, the Consolation National Championship, and then Saturday, of course, all the build-up to the championship going into Saturday for the state championship and essentially the bowl championship. It's all 4 of these games that we're going to be covering this week are going to be pretty awesome. As tackle is made from that was Will Welch, the 8th grader, getting some reps in. But it's going to be a great conclusion to the 8-man football season that started yesterday in the span of 8 days. I mean, technically 9 if you count our finale for Extreme Radio a week from tomorrow. But it's going to be a great stretch.
Definitely. So we have the number 1, number 2 overall teams in the country playing against each other in the national championship. And then TSIAA, we have the number 1 versus number 1 overall seeds against South Haven and FCA. Yes, of course, there was some COVID forfeitures, which made it to where FCA, but still, you get the two number 1 overall teams. That's what you want.
As right side, you can hear the Evangel fans cheering hard for their 8th grader Jake Parker on the carry that he made there. So he gets the first down. Everybody's still enthusiastic as ever as they're getting their guys reps.
Definitely. But going back to it, you're getting the number 1 versus number 1 overall seed. If you don't like that, then I mean, they earned their way to a bye. They earned their way to where they weren't playing the first round. They earned their way to where they had that extra week of rest. So really, it's just going to be strength versus strength. Best of the North versus best of the South.
And they're going to take about one more snap here, and they're just going to knee it down. And Evangel, their fan base can feel it. They have a chance to defend their national championship in what was an amazing game last year here at Pete Edwards Field, 92-90 in overtime, and still about one. That'll do it here. The Evangel Christian School Lightning get it done, 42-13 against the Tennessee Heat. They've got a date with the Ezekiel Academy Knights for the national championship on Sunday. So that's going to do it for our coverage here, as we won't get an interview with the coaches because we're going to do that tomorrow. So 42-13, the final score here, and that's going to do it on the game board. 42-13, Evangel gets it done against the Tennessee Heat. We'll see you for Extreme Radio tomorrow. We hope you tune in at 6 p.m. On behalf of James Shannon, the PA announcer at Stadium, and our producer, as well as our additional cameraman and producer Jack Helwig and Zachary Lone, I'm Spencer Tomset. Thank you so much for tuning in to the NHSA semifinal playoff games presented by Kingdom.com. We'll see you for the consolation and national championship on Sunday, but tune in to Extreme Radio tomorrow at 6 p.m. Have a great evening, everybody.